like to announce? I'd like to make a motion to approve the November minutes.
I'll second.
I've got one change. November 2nd, page 2.
What day?
November 2,
Second.
page 2. Paragraph 3, first line. Resident said he is opposed to exceeding the tax cap.
What is it?
Opposed to the tax cap.
Exceeding.
It should be approved.
I'm sorry?
Yep. That was
That's a
definitely.
big difference.
That was definitely.
That's a very different,
Yeah.
like 180.
We'll vote Councilman Hughes,
Yes.
Councilwoman Metzger,
Yes.
Councilman Slawski,
Yes.
Supervisor Ward.
Yes. Councilman Kozlowski, would you like to do the committee reports, please?
Sure. I reviewed the books with Justice Court for October and November, and reviewed the cash receipts book, comptroller's report, fines receipt book, fines bank statement, bail receipt book, bail bank statement, and check registries for each account for both justices, home bank and paid, and everything reconciled for both funds. I wasn't able to speak to the justices for any further news, but financials are in order. Spoke with building manager, and the Jace came up again. Does everybody remember we were trying to figure out what the Jace was?
Yep.
So we had it more or less. It's interface that communicates directly with the contractors in Boston Spa, allowing them to do diagnostics and fix everything except for replacing a part remotely. Also allows Steve to work on humidity and temperature room by room from his phone, which comes in handy if your computer crashes, which his is crashed. But he's got a new computer already, so we're under control in this transition. The freezer, they're still working on installing the freezer for the food insecurity.
Yep. But I believe they just got the word today that they're going to pour the pad this week.
Yeah, they was working around, they were supposed to do it last week when the storm hit, so. So reported out, really, everything is going well with swipe card access at the Marbletown for rentals, et cetera. Everything's very secure with that. He's working on a facility closing checklist for personnel for each of the 3 wings. Talked a little bit about the boilers, which said they got a couple years left. Simply that's the big matter. That's it for the municipal center. For the environmental commission, and those of you who were here earlier heard I printed out environmental commission and chamber of commerce business and put them on my phone and left everything home. But from memory, I can tell you, chamber reported a great success for the Pickle Fest. Overall attendance was down due to temperatures. However, sales were up due to the fact that people were able to get to the vendors. That's more or less how it was stated.
It was really wonderful. They did a great job.
And then the chamber is still looking to, they're still discussing and identifying who they will be making donations to within the town. Also, they met with the Economic Development Council Committee, so the opening communication there, understanding what each is doing. Only thing I'm sure of for the Environmental Commission, from memory, is there will be no meeting in December. They have worked on another informational slide, MS4 slide, to be shown at the Rosendale Theater, and this is helping with our MS4 community outreach and educating everybody about separated.
Municipal separate stormwater system.
And they also sent me the mock-up, so
Yeah.
I could give a approval for that. So I think.
And they are hoping to finally finalize the emissions report in January. And this was
Great.
something that was being handled by somebody who has left the committee but is still, helping out to finish that. Which will be another one of those sort of benchmark tools for the
Right.
town.
Yep.
Town transfer station took in total of 26.79 tons. After paying all required Ulster County Resource Recovery Administration fees, they took in $1,219.14. I don't have the 5 cents. I don't have bottles and cans this time around.
He hasn't been able to do the trips as often without the staffing, but,
They were sorting Saturday when I pulled in.
but he does have Sal now helping. And, that's been
Thanks. Yeah,
really
that-
nice to have. It's also given George a chance to take some vacation, which I kind of pushed him to take as much as he could later in the year.
Because he could use it.
He pretty much didn't get a chance to in the
Yeah.
beginning.
Thank you.
I
Yeah, and Sal, thanks for reminding me, Deputy Dog Warden, who has been wonderful with dogs, has jumped on and assisting as necessary with the transfer station. Limited number of hours, up to a limited number. And, it was the two of them on Saturday, and he said everything was going well. Might be going through the cash register there sooner than later.
Well, you know how they are, they wait for one to come in.
They also weren't sure if they hadn't
Consummate
pushed.
recyclers.
Without George there, they also weren't sure that they hadn't just pushed the wrong
I
button.
think that's what it is.
He was,
Isn't that what you think, Mandy, about the register? They're maybe using it wrongly, maybe?
Yeah, because they did it again.
Yeah, I think
This-
They're hitting the wrong button and it locks the whole thing.
Yeah.
So then they have to hit all the buttons.
Couple more lessons.
Somebody
Couple
who
more
can
lessons,
go
good.
down and show them how to do it.
but he showed them. So they, yeah.
But
and he
he's not
showed-
there when it goes, goes and then,
But he did show me that Sal had been keeping, dutifully noting
Yeah,
everything.
well, they called me to
Right.
say, it's not working, it was like a Saturday. Like, just write everything down. So you can do it that
Yeah.
way.
I also do have the transfer station permits, so I can share that. It's, full permits for November, 31, sold, limited permits, 5, one-day pass, 3, book of 25 coupons, 16, and a book of 5 coupons, 2. So again, we've still got steady business.
That's not
coming
counting
through.
the ones you've sold, right? Yes, it is, okay, that's totally.
That's it for my reports.
Thank you.
Okay, busy month in my boards and departments and committees. Building department, most of the action that I've been involved with is the Clean Energy Communities High Impact initiative, where we're doing a building and code enforcement training provided by and administered by NYSERDA through a state program called the Clean Energy Communities Program. And so, aside from the other 3 high impacts that you, Gene, Jen are working on, I'm working on the hands-on training. We do take 2 projects, building projects, run through the building department, and 1 commercial and 1 residential, ideally, and use them as subjects in training for the new energy code, so that experts come in and counsel us on how to apply the energy code, since they're brand new and state-of-the-art, to actual buildings. So we'll do a plan review where the architect or engineer will submit plans. This expert from NYSERDA will come in and review the plans in our office, also in their own office, and then provide 2 site visits, so we get to actually see the buildings and the installation in place, and how better to do every little thing, so that our officers are, acutely trained to know what's really good best practices. And that, if we complete that program, we'll get funding, or we'll qualify for funding from the state. So that's kind of a win-win thing. It's money, but it's also really good training for our building inspector and code enforcement officer.
Nothing, we have to complete 4 actions.
Right, 4 total. Let's see. Nick Wolzen, the building inspector, has taken over the duties of code enforcement also. I mean, they're already under his purview. He's the top code enforcement official. And since we're between code enforcement officer designees at this time, he's really embraced the job of doing the code enforcement as well, because he finds it's really helpful for him to thoroughly understand what the job entails and know the codes better. So that's, it's actually kind of come at a time when a little bit of construction has slowed down with the cold weather, so it's kind of ideal. He's taken to that role pretty well.
And Tom's filling in a little bit more.
Right,
so.
Tom Fiore, the old
We never know.
semi-retired building inspector, still around.
Try to retire in Rosendale, so not allowed.
Right. Revenues for the building department were, in the month of November, $3,573. Let's see. On to planning. The planning board meeting was last Thursday here. 2 items that came up. One was the site plan review, completion and approval for TLK, portable toilet rental storage, small facility which is located on Route 32. Oh, it's actually number 2013 Route 32, which is on the top of the hill across from DeLay Avenue, Cornell Street. A small facility, that's all set to go. They got the green light. The other was the Garden House, which is visiting the planning board for a site plan amendment. Though it's actually quite like a site plan review from scratch, in that the original site plan of record was proposed and approved, and then the concept of the business changed slightly from when that was on file to what they ended up opening. So they're in for a review because they've gotten some complaints about smoke and noise based on outdoor dining and such situation. And so the code enforcement, police have been there and trying to deal with the complaints. And it's come to the code enforcement and building inspector. The judge actually put a cease and desist of the outdoor oven in place. So, and sort of coincided with the end of the season anyway. And now they're, revising their whole plan, their whole use of that space, and submitting it and seeing if they can make some things work. So that they were in for that. It's going back to them. They're going to do a bunch of the recommendations from the planning board and resubmit their application next month, ideally. And then there may be there may be a public hearing after that.
Are you at liberty to discuss, are they talking about raising the height of the stack? I mean, that seemed to be similar to other issues we've had with smoke around town where
Right, that's the particular bugaboo, is that there's not anything in the code that specifically outlines that situation. It's not an outdoor wood boiler. It doesn't quite fit into the same classification.
It's not a huge element of it.
And it's not a typical wood stove in that its chimney is right kind of just above ground level. And it's odd that you would have, in residential wood stoves, you kind of have like-sized structures with the chimney, they're all kind of
above the peak.
right, exhausting. And here you have something that's open, so the chimney is much lower than the upper windows of the residences. So it's peculiar. I mean, the planning board itself is doing research on how they might address it. The applicant is doing research on how they might address it. So perhaps by January, somebody will the board will be better informed, but also they may have a plan to communicate, because based on complaints that have come in, it's an issue, so it's some kind of plan so that complaints so keep coming in.
Complaints about smoke and praise about food, so.
It smells good.
I think find a way forward.
Right, so that's that. I do not have the revenues for the planning board in November. The water and sewer district, the revenues for the month of November were $15,841.29. As you can see, the road work is all done on Main Street. That's all up and running. People have reported, according to our engineer on site, Don Schmalzi, that better water quality and that increased pressure, the reports that they've done. And they will be back, Merit Construction will be back to do the regrading of the road and some other storm drain details and sidewalks work in the spring based on the DOT's approval of the weather and the temperature. It's all kind of has to be entered into a table that declares at this time new road surfacing will bond properly. So they can't say it's going to be nice this week. It's really based on a number of factors. So could be April. That's right.
I know that's what they're shooting.
Right. What else? Oh, the water filtration, water treatment plant. Now two of the 5 new filters are in and running. We'll be up to 4 out of 5 by mid next week, Terry thinks. Water superintendent. And then the 5th one maybe before the year is out. As they get employed, the new filters need to get tested and before they're fully brought online. So that work is all done. Are you going to talk about the funding, septic and sewer grant opportunity? Did I mention that?
You can, but we're going to be doing the resolution.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to wait till then?
Yeah. And being that the liaisonship for the High Falls district was vacated by Stacy, I talked to Terry about that. I can report on that right now.
Sure.
I missed, I wasn't the liaison at this time when the meeting happened at SUNY Ulster. We talked about it
Yeah,
last month.
we're going to be meeting with our attorneys to talk about that because
Right.
Because there's some contract negotiations.
Right.
So we're not going to talk about in public until we have some.
Right, there's nothing definitive. It's really just a preliminary meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well then.
But you could talk about, we've had some discussion with DEP too about shutdown. There's 2 issues going on like this water.
Right.
Extension, keeping the college in,
Yep.
and also the shutdown by DEP to do their repairs.
Right.
And the plan is for them for DEP to purchase a truck.
Yes.
Tanker truck for the town, I should say the district.
Right.
And they will contract with Rosendale Water District.
Right.
To provide water.
Right. That's the plan. It's like a $280,000 truck that DEP will buy and we get to keep.
Yep. It'll be our backup water supply. That's what.
Right, a
we'll
brand
consider
new,
our backup.
brand new truck, water truck.
Because we have more than enough capacity
Yeah, we have
at this
that.
level.
It's possible though
That's
that
good
we may need to issue a ban of bond
For an anticipation.
anticipation note. Well, Terry was saying today, it may be possible if if all the paperwork doesn't go through all the channels.
We got a little bit of time yet before
Yeah.
we make that decision.
Right. Yeah, I guess, well.
Because I don't know if they're going to actually do the purchase or if they're going to give us the money to do the purchase.
Oh, okay.
So we're kind of, the attorneys right now are working out the details of the contract, but that's what we agreed, that they would buy us that.
Right.
And so, High Falls Water District, they have a lot.
That is about don't have any grand report from the bookkeeping department, and I was gonna be
We
there
were
today, but
working
you
on
were
it
in,
till the last
yeah,
minute,
I dropped in, but I saw you guys were in the middle of things.
I will just tell you that our accountant's been coming on a weekly basis.
Yes.
I expect everything to be up to speed, and, there are a lot of corrections that need to be made, have been made in the last 2 weeks, and we're good, but it's just a matter of getting that paperwork done. So, hopefully now that Donna's in there, helping to balance things, but she was on vacation for 3 weeks, because that was part of when we hired her, so. Just a little back, catch up on that, but I feel like we're getting caught up.
Okay.
Well, first I just want to start with dog control and the kennel, and just mention, I don't know if everyone got to see this really incredible Bluestone Press article that was in the last issue on the kennel with all of these wonderful profiles of the 4 dogs that are up for adoption, and it resulted in one of the dogs, Lady, being adopted. So we're very happy about that. We hope that more will be adopted as a result. Great Christmas present, Monica present.
Jill, there's one on trial, isn't that what Ed said today?
Sandy, I think.
Yeah.
Is Sandy? Oh,
Yeah.
great. Great. She's very sweet, quiet dog. Dr. Prescott, Liz Prescott, had created who we're going to be considering for tonight to appoint to the adoption committee, created a Facebook page for the dogs, which has gotten a lot of attention to, and the police department shared it today, and so it's really great. And all of these efforts will help a lot to get these dogs adopted out. Let's see, the youth commission, well, they have this vacation day program where they schedule these really great field trips for kids while their parents are working. And they had a trip to the FDR house. They took 9 kids. It was a great success. And over the Christmas break, I just wanted to announce they've got a jam-packed week planned, the 27th through the 31st. One day they're taking kids bowling. Another day they're going to the Capitol Museum in Albany, which is one of my favorite museums. Really great. Another day is swimming at YMCA, Maxwell Stomping Ground. and then the 4th field trip is ice skating at Kiwanis. So if you know kids or have kids who'd be interested in signing up, just call the youth center. They had some great programs scheduled this past November. There was the annual pool tournament and a hike, but they didn't get kids signed up for it. So there was discussion at the last meeting about how to get the word out and get more enrollment in all of these great program ideas that Matt is coming up with.
And he sent a newsletter too that, people's kids should sign up to get the email.
Yeah.
In the newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the newsletter is great. Let's see, there's going to be a holiday parents' night out where you can drop your kids off on December 16th. That's a fundraiser for the youth center, and go shop, and they'll be entertained by the youth center staff. And on December 21st, there's a youth center holiday party. So December 21st. So they've been decorating the place, and so a lot of great things happening in youth. Let's see, the Rec Commission, they were discussing a proposal by the Little League to install netting at the gym, to do like indoor practices.
They can discuss it all day long.
Well, it was a proposal. There wasn't much discussion on it, but it was that their proposal was put forward. Let's see, there was some discussion about the Rosendale Runs donation and how to use it for the multitude of needs down on